Okay. So you can see my screen. Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So for the person that said he does not understand, I'm going to recap. Maybe probably in the ending of the class, I'm going to recap the other one. I'm going to recap on that ending of the class. Please, just remind me. Do a recap on it. Okay. So today, in last class, I actually said you should watch videos on what's it called, append and merge query. I don't know if you guys did. If you don't, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. That's the major thing I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about others, but that's the major I'm going to be talking about today. I don't know, bring in yourself up. I did. Okay, Mr. Favor did that. That's nice. That's nice. Mr. Favor. So I'm going to. This is simple. We already, I know that everybody here should know how to import from Excel. But if you don't, what I did, I'm trying to connect to an Excel sheet to get the data. So I just selected Excel. I'm going to do that again for people that don't know, but I feel like everybody here should know. So come here. This is the folder I want to get data from. So if you download the data that I'm using, you should know where it is. Select the one you want to connect to and click on open. So select the sheet name, which is a called table sheet name. This is the sheet we have there, and the content we have inside, data we have inside. So I'm going to load to Power Query because that's what I want to talk on. I want to load to Power Query. So I loaded my data to Power Query for me. So I want to also bring in another data. So I want to bring in another data to this Power Query, this place. So I don't need to go back to Power BI to start doing that. I can get data from here too. So I can come to this where I see new source. I can get from Excel workbook again. So I want to bring in another data. It's going to be sales 2017. And I click on open. So I click on this shape. I want to make it select and click on OK. Okay, I'll try to drop it earlier. Sorry, I didn't drop it early. That because I was actually a bit busy, so I couldn't drop it early. At the class, wow. I need to upload it to YouTube, so it cannot be immediately. And I'll try to make it that same day, but immediately I have to upload it to YouTube because I didn't able to send it. Okay, I'll do that. Uh, mm, Please repeat. Can you repeat this? Okay, we'll do that. I'll repeat. So I'm trying to get my screen in order. Okay. So I'm going to repeat for the person I say to repeat. Yes. If yeah, first one's 2016 and 17. That's what I uploaded. 2016 and 17. So I'm going to repeat for the person that's I'm going to cancel this and say to start changes. Yeah. I don't want to apply anything. So what I did is I want to get some Excel. So click Excel workbook, click on sales 2016. So you go to where your own data is. If you downloaded my data, it should be on download. You go to download and select sales 2016 and click on open. Then click on sheets. And click on sheet and then click on um, transform because I want to load it into Power Query and transform the data. That's cleaning it up. I want to clean up the data, some steps there. So I come into bring it into Power Query now. So I want to bring in another data. I don't have to go to Power BI to run to bring in Excel workbook again and start. So what I need to do is just come to my Power Query, come to new source in home tab, come to new source here and click on Excel workbook. Then select the next data, which is going to be 2017. Let me make this 2017. So I have the data I want, this data I want to bring in here. So click on OK. I need to click on that because this is already in Power Query, so it's just going to in Power Query. You need to click on transform a bit. Just click on OK. Sorry, I'm just coming. The network is. Maybe in the I just recapped it the second time now. I'm just importing data to Power Query. So it's just bringing data to Power Queries. Not something hard. If you've been in the last class, we've been doing so. It's just bringing data to Power Query. So let's move on. So just brought in the second data, and so basically what you need to do if you brought from Power BI, you just you want to bring another one, just come here where you see in Power Query you see home and source, then get from workbook. So the same way you just click on OK, and that's that. I importing all the data at once. No, just one after the other for now. If you want to import it at once, you use folder. But if you want to import as a Excel, you use if you're using Excel, you just import one after the other. Okay, so let's continue. So so basically what I want to do is basically what I did the last time when I brought in the folder. So bringing in the folder, bringing in with folder, you know what we'll do? We combine the data. We have two data, two sheets. We have like 3 or 4 there, and we combine them together to create one full table. How do you use Excel? Wow. Have you not been in our last class? I'm using the Excel workbook now. I'm connecting to Excel and getting the data. So click on this Excel workbook here and select the one you want to report, like this now. I want to bring this one in and click on open. It will bring it in for you. That's from Power Query. But if it was from Power BI, it will show you to go to transform. So click on it will show load, transform and cancel. You click on transform. So it take you to Power Query. So basically, as I was saying, what I want to do is I want to the same thing I did by combining data. So when I have a data, I've already brought in the data like this. I have them like 3 or 4 sheets. I want to combine them together. They are the same thing. They have the same columns, and they have the same column header. They are like basically the same thing as when we are doing the folder. When we have sales 2019, 2017, and so you know that they have the same column, and then because they are coming from the same company and they are the same data of from the same company. So it's going to have the same column and everything. So what I would do is for this one, I already brought it in here like this. The best way to bring it is always folder. But if you already brought it in like this, you can do something what we call append query. So append query can come here. You can see my append query here. For people that already went through it, I think it should be fairly understand. Let me zoom in a bit for me. Okay. So so this is the append query that I want to use. To have two types of ways to append query. First of all, what's the append query? Append query, the append query is to append two different tables to each other. Like maybe you have a table and you want to put another table under it that has the same column and the same column header name with it. Same, they are like the same structure, data structure. I want to combine the two of them together. You can use the append query to append them. So if you come here and click on append query, so when we come to append query, they're going to ask us how many concatenate rows from two tables into a single table. So how many tables am I covering? So if I want to combine more than like two tables, if just two tables like the one I have there, that's what I'm appending. I can just use two tables here that I see here, or I can, if I want to do more than two tables, I can say I want to append more than two tables. But for me, I have just two tables, so I'm going to click on append two tables. So I'm going to have the table to append. I'm going to append the current table. And click on okay. So I already basically appended the same thing I have there. So what I need to do is, because if I'm using append queries, if I'm using only append queries, it's appending to the table that I'm currently on. So if I'm using append query as new, it's appending to a new table automatically, like it's going to create a new table that is appending on another. But I'm using append query as new. So what it's doing is, if I'm appending as if I'm just using append query, it's appending to this table that I'm on. So what I need to do is, I just need to select the one I'm appending, which is this one, which is the second one. So I'm already on this one, and I'm trying to append another table to it. So let me zoom this. This is kind of confusing. Let me zoom it out a bit. So you can see this table I have here now. This table I want to append on. If I'm using the append query, I have two options. I have append queries and append queries as new. So the append queries as new is to append the two queries, but the two sheets that I have there, but I want to append them and I want to create a new table of the that is the append, that is the combination of the two tables that I had. So let's say I want to do that. So if I come here and click on append query as new, now they're going to ask me the sheet first table, which is going to be this first one, then the second table, which is going to be this one. So you see that yeah, I have two columns here because I'm appending as new. So I have to select the two sheets. So if I click on this now, I click on OK. It's going to append that query and it's going to bring in a new sheet for me, which contains that my two tables combined together. So if you let me this. Okay. So you can see my data now. So you can see the first one and where it ends at 12, and you have the next data on it there. You can see from here, you can see our data has been appended. So basically, what we did when we were combining from folder, so it stacks it. First one will be there, then the second one will just be added under it, then the third one and under it. So that's basically what the append query is used for. So if I want to append, let me remove this. And then this. So if I want to append to this one, I don't want to create a new one. I just want to append to this one. So what I can do is when I come to this option, I click on append. queries, not append queries as new. So select the one I want to append. So this one now is only selecting the current table. So I just need to select the one I want to append to this table that I have selected. So if I click on this one and I click on OK, so it appends that query to that table that I have there. So I can name it as sales 2016 2017. Yes. 2016 /2017. I have that now combined. So I can bring in another data from Excel to, I want to bring in 2018. Import and good. I want to import and load and click on OK. So now I bring in this. Let's say I want to append this one too. So the same thing, come here to this same table. I'll come here and say append query. Another append query. I click here and say I want to append sheet 1 to the sheet 1, not sheet 2, sheet 1. Then sheet 1. Then click on OK. So I append that also to this table. So if I come down, I can see that 2018 has been added there for me. So that's how to append. So who does not understand? Right? Recap again. Do we all understand? Do we all understand? Somebody said, okay. Two people are. No. Oh God. Please repeat. Okay. Please recap. Okay. I'm coming. Let me answer. Sorry. You just raised your hand. Why do you raise the hand? I thought you wanted to ask a question. Is it Mr. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead. Ask a question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry, good evening, everyone. My question is this simple. I'm able to get this, but I'm thinking instead of bringing in the first data and the second data, can we bring in the 4 data and append everything together at the same time?
You can do that.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to do it once, but you see where I showed I want to append 3 or more. This that's what you need to ask. I'll show you that now. Just listen, I'll show you.
Okay, thank you.
No. So I'll recap it again and then. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go back on my steps to be able to do that again. So go back on the steps. So I have this here now, which is just 1. So I want to append query is very simple. Okay, so sorry. So I would click on append queries. Then if I want to do 3 or more, select this. So you can see that here. So anyone I have the first one, which is one I'm currently on. Then select the next one, add it there. Next one, add. I have the 3 of them here now. If I have 4, 5, 6, I will just do the same thing there. And I click on append. I click on OK. Sorry, I said append. You click on OK, and I have everything there appended at once. So that's how you can. So let me read you for people that say that you don't understand. That's how you can do 3 or 4 at once. So if you want to do, if you want to append, is very simple. Appending is just used for adding a particular data. So for example, what we did with our folder for the folder right there, when we brought in a full folder, you know that the folder was combined, everything inside that folder was combined, which is the sheet we have here now, which is 2016, 2017, and 2018 with 19 there too. So that's what we combined together to create that full table that we did in folder. So it's basically the same thing we are doing now. So when we bring it, instead of using the folder now, you can bring in all the data. Then after bringing all the data, we can You can come in here and append them together so that they will just have one full table that can use and analyze our data. So if I want, I can come here and I can say query, append query. Then if you just have two, you have just to just click here and say I want to append. So with this selected now, I'm using append query, not append query as new. So if I was using append query as new, I will need to select the two this thing I want to append or the three I want to append. But because I'm using what's it called? I want to append to a particular table that I already have there to one, maybe which is the 2016. I want to combine that together. So I'm going to just select the next table. So this one is already selected. I'm just going to select the next one I want to do, which is this one, and I'll click on. Okay, it's going to append that for me. So that's if I just have two there. But if I have more than two and I want to append that, what I'll do is click here. Okay. So I just select the one I want. So this one has already been selected, which is the current one we're in. So I'm going to click on this and I'll say append, add. Click on this and I'll say add. So I have that added now. I click on OK. Everything has been added for me. So we can see that everything has been added for me here. Everything has been added, has been appended. So if I want to append as new, very simple. I'll go back and say, come down here and say append query as new. So append query as new, I'll come down here. Now append query as new, I'll come. If I want to do more than one here, so this one has been selected. So if I select this one, so bring it in here. Okay. So I have another appended query as new. All those ones to still remember, I have this table as a new one there. So hope you understand now. From the point where you get the data, please repeat. It's just Excel. I'm bringing data from Excel. I'm just importing data from Excel. This one is not hard. It's just bringing data from Excel. You know how to bring data. I think if you know how to bring data from Excel, if you are in our last 2 class or 3 classes, you'll be able to import data from Excel. It's just to so please, I want to share another data to the group. I will repeat this now. I want to share another data to the group for the one what I'm going to use for the next thing I want to talk about. I didn't share that. Just share this one. So let me share that data. It's just one data like that. Please just help me download it while I'm going to repeat this. Just download that data. So we can October. I just share the data with the group. So please go for the people that already understand. You can go and download that. That's what we're going to be using for the next thing I'm going to talk about. So the person that said I should repeat, I'm just going to do a quick repeat on that for the person before we move on. What's the difference between appending query and combining? Combining is when you bring in data from folder, you combine. Appending is when you have the data brought in already, you can append the data. It's the same thing. It's doing the same thing. It's combining is bringing it under the same thing. So it's basically the same thing. But the difference because the difference between is that you are bringing the other one, you are bringing it from a folder, and this one you are you already brought in the data one by one. You are just combining them. You are just trying to like combine them from onset here. So you know the other one we do it when we are in when we are still bringing in the folder, you can combine from the but this one we already brought in the file, just append from it. So I'm going to go back for the person that was asking the question. Please, you guys go ahead and download. I'm going to admit you now, please just Let me know. I'm going to comment you. Okay, you can go ahead. I'm on mute now.
Yeah. Good evening once again. Sorry for bringing you back. My question is, if you bring in through, assuming the whole data is in
Folder.
a folder,
Yeah.
you don't need to append again.
No, you don't need to append, because if you bring it in, you have to combine. Anytime you're bringing it from a folder, if you don't combine, you're not going to get your data. So you
Okay.
always have to combine. That means you want to combine the two, combine all the data together, then we can get your full table. So if you are bringing in from a folder, it's composite that you must combine.
But not append.
Not append, you are combining.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so this appending is when you bring in the data one by one. You wanted to do the same thing, but you just brought the data. You see the same data that were used in the folder part when we add them in one folder and got in the folder. You see the same data, but now we brought it one by one. So we want to append them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat one more. I hope everybody has downloaded the new data that I just added to the group. Please, if you have not and you want to follow along, go ahead and download the data while I repeat. So let me close this and do again one last time for the people that just joined. So what I did is bringing in data from Excel. So bring in the first one. I'm trying to append the data. So bring this in and transform. Okay, then I want to bring in another data. I want to bring in another data. So instead of going back to my Power BI, I can get my data from Power Query here. You just come to new source and then click on Power Excel workbook again. So I select 2017 and click on open. When it loads, click on OK to have my data here. So I have the second one and two. So I want to append. I'm going to just do this one. So I want to append this. You see, this table they have the same column and everything. They are coming from the same company and they have the same data structure. So I get it. So and I don't want to have two different tables. I don't want to be analyzing with two different tables. I want to analyze with one table alone. So what I need to do is because I did not bring it in from the folder, what I can do to have one full table that I can use to analyze is to append this table. To append the table, this particular one to the first one I have. So what I need to do is just select the first one. So there are two ways I can append. I can append as new, which means I want to append these two sheets together, but I want to create another table and still maintain these two tables should still remain, but I want to create another table. That's what the append as new does. But append means I want to append to this table I have selected. This sheet I have selected, and I want to append to it. So now they're going to ask me to select the one I want to append to it. So I have this one selected, so I'm going to select the second one, which is what I'm going to be appending to this one that I'm in right now. So I'm going to click on OK. And I have that table appended for me. So if I want to append as new, very simple, come here, click on append as new. To append as new, I'll come here, select the first one I'm appending as two, hit one, then it's hit the one I'm appending to it. This, I'm going to. So it's going to create a new one for me, and the other two tables will still be there. I'm going to create a new table that has those combined tables for me. So do you understand now for the person that was asking the question? Is it very clear now? Do you understand? Okay. Yes, okay. Okay, so okay. So let's move on. So I hope everybody has downloaded the data I just dropped. So I'm going to bring in that data that I just dropped now. So I'm going to be leaving this table. I don't need them. Yes, okay. I'm going to leave these tables. I just want to delete this so that we just have a clean wage. So if you've gotten the data, you can start uploading it, bringing the data in. So you bring in everything on the data. So I'm coming. It's an Excel file, so you should know how you upload that. So I'm going to delete this. We are following along. So what I'm going to bring in from here from Power Query. I'm not going to be going back to Power BI. So I'm going to go to my Power BI folder. Then I have the table here. I call it sales prep. Click on it. Okay, open. Okay, so I have the tables here. So I want to bring in all these tables. All these tables I have, I want to bring them in. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to select this, and I click on OK. So it's going to bring in all those tables, all those sheets. It's bringing them in to my Power Query. So I have them here now. So as we all understand the Power Append Query now, we'll move on to our merge queries. So I'm going to move on to merge queries. So merge queries is basically used for merging two tables together and bringing a particular information. So let's say, for example, now look at this table I have here now. I'm going to zoom in. So for the people that are following me, I'm in Apocalypse sales table, so sheet. So you can go to that. Let me zoom in for you. I'm going to zoom in. See where I am. So I'm coming. I want to just myself. The message download. Assuming the data is from the same company, but it has different headers, example states, statement, or account. April and start. So if you are bringing in another data that is not the same thing as that, you don't maybe they are coming from the same company, right? But they are not the same header. I want to bring it in. You're not supposed to be merging it now. You know that it's not the same data. So you're not supposed to be appending, because appending is adding top and bottom. You're going to add the next thing under. So that's not what I'm supposed to. So what I'm meant to do now, that question is very nice. So what I'm meant to do now is to merge queries. To merge queries now, we add all those information we need from those other tables to this one, but it's going to be now in a row, not. For example, now I'm going to explain that better. But if you have different headers and different data is in there, it's going to just show you no for the places that you have empty and all that. But the places that you don't have empty, it's just going to add the data you have for all those particular ones down. But places that you have empty spaces, it's going to put no for them. So, but that what you just talked about now, the best way to do it is to merge query, and I'm going to show you why the best way to do it is to merge query. So merge query is basically used to merge a particular two tables together. So I have table of sales for the sales of that. Let me change this to sales and all this. So this is the sales made. I'm going this to stock. So I'm going to make this store, and customer information is nice, so I'm going to leave that. So let's say now, look at the data I have here on this table. Let me zoom in. Let me try it. Let's see. Okay, so you can see. So you can see my data. You can see data I have here. This slide. Yes. So you can see data I have here. I have my customer ID, customer information, and all that here. So this is my sales table. This all the sales that was made by that company that I'm working for is actually here. So all the sales that was made is here. So let's come to the store. So look at this is the store, and in the store we have nylon. The product we have is nylon rope, waterproof matches, waterproof matches, stainless steel axe, backpack, multi-tool, survival knife, solar battery. These are our products here. So then I will have the product price. We have the product cost, production cost, not product cost, production cost. So, and we want to analyze this stuff. We want to know our revenue. We want to get our revenue. So for example, I'm just going to be using an instant. I'm using DAX now. The DAX option. I'm going to get that back. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm talking. we'll get to that function. I just want to use it as an example. Let's say I want to do a DAX function now. Where I want to bring in, I want to know my revenue. And now I just want to use one table to do that, which is going to be my sales table. So to be able to get my revenue now, I need to know it's going to be my units sold multiplied by units sold multiplied by price divided by production cost. So I'll get my revenue from that. So it's units sold multiplied by the price. Units sold multiplied by the price, then divided by the product cost to get my revenue. And you can see I want to use just this sales data to analyze. I don't want to use other data. I just want to use all this sales data. And for me to be able to use that, I have to have everything I need to use. Everything I need to use for my DAX function, all the columns I need to use for my DAX function in this particular data, but it's not here. It's in this data that I have here. I don't want to take this store into that place. I don't want to use it. I don't want to bring it in there. So what I can do is I can bring this data into this particular table here and just go and use it in there. That's my price column and the production cost column. I can just bring it into that my sales sheet, my sales table there, and then I can now use it to, I can just use only that sales table because that's basically what I want to do. I want to get the revenue, and this is what I'm going to need to get my revenue. My unit sold is already there in that sales table. So what I need to do is bring in that my price and production cost to this table. And how do we do it? We merge queries. So to be able to do that, you need to merge your queries and bring in the tables you want to bring in into that particular table. So I'm going to select my sales because that's what I want to merge query and bring in a particular table to. So I'm going to zoom out a bit because this, maybe need this zoom this. Let's kind of like that. I'm going to just zoom out a bit. So I have my sales here. So now I want to merge queries and I want to bring in that data. So what I will do is come here, and I'm not merging. I have the same way I did for append queries. I have merge queries and merge as new. So I will say I want to append for now. I want to merge queries for now. I don't want to merge as new. Just for now, so merge. Okay. So now they're going to ask. This is the first table I want to use, which is my sales table. So they're going to ask me, what is the second table I want to use? The second table I want to use is my store, because I want to bring what I'm bringing in is going to be coming from my store table. So I'm going to be bringing this in for my store table. So and to be able to do that, I need to have a column that is in my product ID and my that is in my sales table and also in my store table. So there has to be, because the reason why there has to be a column that matches is because this, what you are selling is from this store. Everything you are selling is from this store. And for you to be able to track what you are selling, you have to have something that is matching what you have here. So for example, what we have here is product ID. I'm going to go back to I'm going to come back here. I'm going to come back to this place. Oh, is that a question? Yes, yes. Oh, my network. Very sorry, I didn't know my network was breaking. Okay, so hope you can hear me well now. Hope you cannot hear me very clearly now. Hope you cannot hear me very clearly now. Okay. Yes, okay, let's move on. So if you look at the table I have here now, you see that this sales is coming from this store. So there has to be something that matches between these two tables because it's the same company and this is their store. So if you are selling something, you have to have, for example, you are selling if I sell what's it called? If I sell like nylon loop now, if I sell nylon loop for this store, if I don't have the name there, I have to have the ID. So you have product ID and have the product name. So you have to use, there has to be an identification in this sales table, which is what we are using to identify that product that we are selling. So getting it. So, but what they are using here is not the name of the product. They are using the product ID. So that's That's the identical column between these two tables. That's the common ground between these two tables here. So, and if you're trying to merge, you have to have a common ground between the two tables that you're merging. So the reason why you have to have is because what you're merging is meant to tally with the data. It's meant to be like corresponding. And it's meant to correspond because what you're selling is still that same product. You sold the same product and you have the product here and you want to bring in the product price. So the data has to tally because the price I'm going to bring in is for nylon rope, and nylon rope is 30.99. And if I'm using nylon rope ID there to like as the common ground between those tables, it's going to tally because it's nylon rope, and for in this table I have here that I'm bringing this thing from, is nylon rope. There is the price is 30.99. So it's going to just bring in that nylon rope price. So what I'm going to do is come here now. I already have my common ground, which is a product ID, which is what I have here, and I also have it in that other side. So I'm going to come to my merge queries, and select merge queries. Then if I have the first table selected, which is one I was selected on, then have the next table I want to bring in my distance from, which is this one. Then now I need to select the common ground between them, which is my product ID. Select this, and I come here and select this. So you see, it enables match. So you see, everything I selected is matched. You see, the selection matches 74 of 74 rows from this first table. So that means the thing matches each other correctly. Because they are the same thing, they are the same. The product we are selling is coming from that store, so it's going to match each other. So you have to make sure that the table that you're trying to merge together has something that matches each other together. So if you have the one that does not match 100%, maybe there's a particular place that you have null, and you notice that you don't have null in that place, it's just going to give, it's still going to work, but it's just going to give you, in that place that does not match each other, it's just going to give you null there, that's empty. If it gives you null or it gives you error, I think it's not, it's going to give you null there because it's empty. Maybe it's empty there, or it does not match, it's going to give you null. If you have another thing there. But if it's empty, it's just going to give you null there. So I have these two matching to each other now, and this like it matches 100% between the two things because they are coming from that. We are selling from the product that we're selling is from this store, so it's supposed to match because the store has every product that we sold. So I'm going to click on OK here. Then after clicking on OK, now I just did the first part. I just did 90% of what I'm meant to do now. So after making that now, I just brought in all this table that was here now. You see this store that I have here? I just brought in this store here now. I just brought it in here. But now the merging that I'm doing is not merging it to bring it under. It's merging it so that you can add new columns from this particular store. You're adding another column, not adding rows under. We are adding columns. So now what it does is after merging and bringing in and it aligns and everything, we've done that. Just did 90% of what we are meant to do. I'm going to come here. So now after that, now they're going to give me something like this now, which is containing all my data. So if I come here, see up here, let me zoom in. I think zoom in so that you can actually see it. So you go to the last table that was shown, that you were shown. Okay, I haven't marked this thing yet. So so let me go. So you can see in this store here, this name store. In this name store, I have these tables. In these tables, I have, if you come, now you see what I have in this particular one. So it's just I just clicked on it to show you what I have there. So I'm going to go back. So go back. I clicked on this. So let me go to the left. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to transform this data. So here, if you click here, here, this place that you see something like combined, you can see the icon. I hope everyone can see the icon. When you see my mouse icon, just click there. Now, what it does when we click in that place, it's going to give us all the columns we have in that store. See that store table that we have? All the columns we have there is going to show it to us here. So what we need to do now is here now we need to just select the ones we want to use, the tables we want to use, the columns we want to add to this place, which is select all this. I want to just use the price and the production cost. That's the two things I want to take. I want to bring into this my table now. The price and the production cost. So I also remove this use original column name as preference. That's I want to use this stuff, but that's not what I don't want to use. I want to use this name. Yeah, so I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to say, so with these two selected, which is the one I want to add to this, I'm going to click on OK. And I'll bring in those things into this place. So I am going to zoom out a bit. So I have that in here now. So I have my price added for me and my production cost added for me. So if I, like he was asking, if I want to bring in that kind of data you were asking now, and it has to have a column that matches each other. If the data is coming from the same company and it's the same thing as that data, it's maybe an abstract of the data that you have. So it has to have a column that is matching with each other before you can be able to merge. So, and if it's coming from the same company and you're meant to analyze the data together, you should have a column that is aligned. You should have a column that is like matching with each other in that particular table. Do you understand? Okay. Yes. No. Okay. No. Okay. Please repeat. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat that. Sorry, I'm coming. Complicated. Oh, wow. It's not that complicated. I think it's the explanation that I went through that all looks a bit complicated to you, but it's not that complicated. What you just need to know is that the data that you're merging is coming from the same company. And okay, for example, now let's just use my data as let's just focus on this my data. For this my data that I have here now, I have my sales and I have stock. So you know that the first data is the sales that you made, and what you sold is those product that is in the store. So the product we sold is the product that is in the store. And now, sorry. When you merge you left outer, then why can't you merge this one? Okay. Okay, so let me continue. So as I was saying, so what I'm bringing in is also coming from that. This is coming from this, and everything I sold is coming from this store. So if I'm selling something from this store, I have to have an identity, like something that I use to identify the ones that I sold. So it could be the name. So it's supposed to be the name, but I'm using Pro ID. It could be the name, be the Pro ID here. So these two things, it could be these two. That's what I'm using to identify them. And that's what is the common ground between these two tables. That's what I can actually select that it matches between these two tables. So that's this ID now is the same ID I have here. Because it's the ID of this product. That's what I'm using to like sell this product here. So that's what I'm using to sell this product in this my sales table. That's what I'm using to sell it now. So this is the store. This is what I use to identify it in this store. I use ID and I also use the name. But in this my sales here, I'm using ID to sell it here. Because that's what I have as what I use to identify all the ones I'm selling, all the products I'm selling. So now I want to bring in a column. I want to bring in two columns. So I want to use these two columns to analyze now. I want to use these two columns to analyze in my I want to use these two columns to analyze in using my DAX function. When I get to DAX function, now I want to analyze, I want to get my revenue, and I need this price and production cost. So I need to bring it in, and I want to use only this table, sales, to do my to analyze. That's what I want to use to analyze. So, and I want to bring in these two things here now. So that's what the merge is doing for us now. So the merge is going to merge those two tables together, and then we can bring in the information we want to bring into this particular table. But before you be able to do something like that, you need to have a common ground. You need to have what you're using to sell that in your sales product. You need to have something that matches between those two. Like you have a particular column that is identical between those two tables that you have there. Because that's what you're going to be using to bring in other columns that you want to bring in. If you want to bring in other columns, that's what you're going to be you're going to be using to match that column. For example, now, all these are in this product ID, in this product here we have, you see that for each and every one of the product ID, we have the price for that product ID, which is for a particular product, we have the price. So when it comes here, as far as these two tables match, for each and every one of those product ID, it's just going to add that price to that product ID. Just going to add that price to that product ID for us. That's what this is going to do. So what we'll do is we just come and say merge query. You merge query. And when you merge query, you select the next table you want to use. Select the next table you want, which is going to be, we are getting this from store. To select and click on what we are using to match, which is this and then this. So it gives us the selection matches 74 of 74 rows from the table. If you can read it down here, it's down here on mine. We have 74 of 74 rows from the first table. So with this selected now, I can click on, because I already did my match and it matches very well. I can click on my OK. Yeah. And I have that thing brought in for me now. But it brought all those tables for me. But Power Query knows that I might not want to bring in all those columns in here. I might want to bring in some. So what I can do is now I can join with which option to choose. I'm not no. Which option to choose? To choose one kind. I mean, you can choose if you like. Is you have left and right and left. You can choose left. You can choose right. So I'm having. I just used the one that I already did for me. So I have that there now. So we're going to ask the question. So I have that there now. So what I just need to do is click here now. This icon I have up here. Let me zoom in for people that are not seeing it so that you can see it well. So click here now. You see this option, this icon, this tiny icon I have here. Click here now. And then I want to, now for me, and I can select the column. If I want to bring in all the columns, I just click on, okay, everything will be added there for me. Normally, it will add all that for me. But because I want to select particular columns, not all, I want to select some. So what I will do is, the select all, I can select all, then select the two I want to use, and then click on OK. And those two columns will be added for me. See, I have price in this my sales data. You can see I'm still in sales. You come to this left, I'm still in sales. But now I have my price and my production cost. I want to go to the remove and my production cost here. So I have my price and my production cost here. I have my price and my production cost there. And that's that. That's merged for you. They have to bring in a particular column. You know, just take it like this, that the append query adds underneath, it adds it on a row. But your adds a row for your append query, that's what it does. But your merge query adds columns. It adds data you want to add as a column. Different, add all the columns I have in that particular sheet for you into the next table you have. Please, do you understand? For people that are following me, they are following along with me. Have you done it, or is you're having an issue? And people that, yes, you understand. Yes, Mr. Eric said yes. Yes. I'm going to do something like this again on when we get to DAX, because the reason why we have this option is so that we can actually do some stuff with it. So we get to DAX, I'm going to see some. But I'm not going to be using this merge query again. I'm going to be using a function called, but it's still going to be the same thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using a function called select column for that part. That's in Power BI. So I hope anybody is not lost before I move on. We all understand, right? Hope we all understand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Then, next I want to talk about before the last is enter data. So we can actually enter data in Excel, in Power Query. You can put in our own data. But I will show you the disadvantage of entering data by yourself. I'll show you the advantage. There's an advantage because it will help you enter data for now. So, but to enter data for yourself, maybe you want to, for example, I have this data here, and there's a data that I want to use to analyze this, and it's not actually here, but I know the data that I want to use. I can actually go type the data myself. I come here, click on enter data, can see when you go to home, and the third ribbon, you see enter data. Is it the fourth ribbon? Yeah, fourth ribbon in the home tab. You see enter data. So click on it and you can start entering the data. So you have the first column, you can name it. So maybe I'm using targets. So I want to get targets. Then I can add another one. So I see this should be budget and targets. I just want to use budget. And then this should be targets. It said 74 of 74, but the store only has 10. I was waiting for someone to ask that question. That's a very, very nice question. So, but it has only 10. So that's what I was actually explaining since. Now, what we are selling is from this store. This store has 10. But when it comes to this, we sell one particular product more than once. So it's going to repeat. So for example, now we have ID6 here. If you come down, you will see ID6 here again. So that's because we sold more than one product to more than one customer. So that's why we have a duplicate of that. But it's still the same product that we're selling. But we also need to more than one product. That's why you have more when it gets to the sales sheet. Do you understand? For the person that asked that question, that's basically why we have more. Okay. So that's basically why we have more, because in the product we sold is just 10 products, but we sold it to more than one people. Okay, so let me go back to what I was. So you can enter data. You can enter data from here. And I can name it anything I want to give it to you. And then where you see column and pay budgets. And target. I can start adding data I want to use. So say budget is 250,000. 200,000 is nice. Then targets is 600,000. Supposed to be $1 million. 600,000 is okay. So 600,000. Is it 600,000 or 6 million? 6 million. This is 600,000. Yeah. So I'm going to click on. Now down here I can name it. We'll name it. Yeah. So I'll give it a name. Go. So I'm going to say go. I'm not going to name it anything else. I'll go. The month of this. So go click on. Okay. So I have that there. It's loading. Wait to do it for you. So we have that data. So you can see we have created that data here now. You have it in here and ready to work. So you can enter more than one. You can actually go to Excel sheet and copy your data and come and put it there. If you have the data already typed out in Excel, so if I come here, sorry, I come to this Excel sheet, select this is what I want to use. Copy this. Okay. Come to my Power Query. Actually, come and paste data there. So just Control V. I have the data pasted for me. I have the data pasted for me. So I don't need this header. I can clear this up when I go to my notes in there. So, I have just pasted that data. I can name it. I'm just going to leave it this and just load it. So I have that in here. So I'm going to remove this. Easily just use my this first row as header. This first row as header, and I'll clean that up. I'll put my first row as header, and my data is looking neat. So hope you understand how to enter data. It's very simple. Very, very simple. But I'm going to ask a question. Hope you understand before I move on to the next. Then you have please one person should just indicate I understand so that I can move on. Someone is asking a question. Let me go ahead. Okay, go ahead and unmute. Use repeat. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Well done, sir, Mr. Kingsley. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I was briefly taking off. My attention was really taking off. I didn't get how you go to the create table. So
Okay.
could you please help me with that? That's the only thing I'm missing.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll repeat. Okay, so to create table is very simple. Come to this. You see where you see enter data. Can you see this my enter data? When you go to home in the Power Query, see the enter data here. So click on enter data. So two things you can do, you can copy data from anywhere you want to copy it and come and paste it. That's what I did for the last one I did now. But you can actually enter data yourself. You double click here. You can type in the name you want, like loan. I'm just going to use loan. Loan dates. And then expiry dates. Loan expiry dates. Loan expiry dates. Then here I can add in my data in here. So I can put in the full name and all that, but I'm going to just put the amount figure 3,000. Dates. First. This. 2023. When expiry date is going to be, let me give it 1 month. So I'm going to say, first of, so I will say first, sorry, first, 2023. And then after that, I have to just come here, name the table from here. So I'll say, okay, yeah, and I have that here. So you can see it's still loading my loan date, my loan table. So I'm going to come to the loans. I can see the table I just created. So do you understand now? Is it clear now? I think it should be clear now. I don't even know if it's still in the car. If you're still, please indicate that you understand now. I'm going to move on. I don't know if it's still here, but I feel like every other person understands, so I should. Please. Please, how did you copy and paste data. So it's very simple. Go to Excel, select normal Control C, and come to Power BI data and press Control V to paste. When you come into Power BI, when you copy from Excel, come to Power BI, click on the Power Query, click on Enter Data. Then in the Enter Data, click on Control V to paste. Okay. Someone is saying, can the table be given a header? Like use first row as header. You can rename it the same way you do the other data. You can use first row as header, same way we do for the other data. It's the same thing. So after that, now the disadvantage of this is that it's a standard data. It does not update unless you come in Power Query and put in the what you want to do. If not, if it's something that you want to put, the only data you can put into and this enter data now, you can create with this enter data. Is data that is going to remain the same. It's the data that you don't want to change. For example, now, data we can use that is not going to change for a long while that we can use is something like this data here, because this product we are selling here now is going to be remain this, because you're going to be selling the same products in that same store. You're going to be selling it this same price, but not in Nigeria, because price increases every time. So, but example can be something like this. If the price is not going to be increasing, maybe you don't need to change it. Or another data that is perfect for you to use is if you are grading like your student score, you are grading student score now, for example. The results, and for example, the people that the mark that they have to reach before you give them an A or D or all those stuff. So you know that it remains stagnant. You're just going to remain there because that's what they have to make to reach to get that particular. So you are not changing it for anybody, any student. You have to reach this mark to get this particular. It's not going to be changed. You can use that to enter it. Because any data that you enter there, the only way to change it does not update because you didn't do it in Excel, you did it in Power BI. The only way to change it is come to Power Query and add another data to it, add another column, add another listing to it. That's the only way you can. So if it's a data that you want to type, but you want to actually add more to it, it's better to do it in Excel and import it here. So whenever you want to do anything, you go to Excel, add what you want to add, and then just refresh it to update here, or have your scheduled updates and it will update here. So please, do we all understand? Do we all understand that? Please, let's do fast. We don't have much. Hope it's clear and yes. Nice. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to invoke function. We were talking about the last class, but I said I'm going to talk about it in this class, which is how to invoke function. So to be able to invoke function, you need to have a function. This one might be a bit hard because I'm going to be creating a function. It's not hard actually. You know Excel function now, so it's not going to be hard. So let's go on. So I want to create the function first. I'm going to show how to create the function and how to invoke it. So we're going to be invoking the function using this, our add column invoke function, which is this here. So to create the function, the function we're going to be creating is here. I'm going to bring in another data for that function. I'm going to bring in another data. Okay, let me see have this. So the data I already dropped it in the group. Go ahead, is there employees table. I have it there. If you go there, you see that's data I want to bring in. So go ahead and bring in that data to your. So I'm going to hope everybody has downloaded it. So I'm going to click on employees table and click on open. I already shared it to the group. It's one of the first one I shared. So go ahead and get that if you've not gotten it. So I can follow along. Okay. So I brought in the data here. So what I want to do with this data is I want to get the total amount I'm going to be paying these people. So this is the hourly rate for them. So this is the hourly rate. So for each and every one, look at the data. Let me zoom in. I need to zoom in. So if you imported that and you were following me along. So this is for example for my company, and I'm using that as an example. I have James and people that work for me and the hours they work, the hourly rate. So hourly rate means like the hours they work, like for each and every hour they work, the amount I pay them. So for James, he works for each and every hour, I pay him 60 naira because I'm Nigerian. I cannot pay somebody 60 naira. So let's say $60 for every hour that James works. So and James works 39 hours. Then I have Peter. I pay 70 for every hour and he works 50 hours. Hours worked is 50. We have John. So I want to know how much I'm paying them right now. So what I need to do is to multiply these two and I'll get my answer. So there are two ways I can do it. I can use a function to create a function that has this multiplying these two things together and then add it to my column, my data here. Or I can use my conditional formatting. If this is equals to this, add this together, you can do that with this. But I'm going to use the invoke function for this now. I am going to come to my here now first of all, I need to create the function that I want to invoke. So I'm going to zoom out a bit. So I want to create the function I want to invoke. So if I right click, and I say right click, if you are following me, right click and go to new query. So when you go to new query, go to blank query. To create the function, right click, go to new query. From new query, go to blank query. From new query, right click on where you see all the sheets are. Right click there, go to new query. From new query, go to blank query, click on that. We're going to click open a new listing for you. So now what we need to do is we need to say equals to, we are creating a function right now. So equals to, we're going to say equals to, open bracket, hourly rates. So what we want to do first is we want to add that hourly rate as number. Because we want to add them together, and right now for this function, we are just adding like it's not going to be recognized as number. You have to add it as you have to create it as a number. So that's what I'm trying to do first. So when you do your equals to open brackets, then what you're going to say, you say the hourly rate in type should be seen as number. The hourly rate should be seen as number. Just put hourly rate as number. That's what you need to do for that. So the hourly rate should be seen as number, just which is hourly rate as number. Then put your comma, then say hours worked. Hours worked. So no space should be together. Hours worked and hourly rate should be together. No space. I made a mistake. Hours worked. Hours worked. Hours, not hours. Hours worked. Hours worked. Then I'm going to say hours worked should be as number. So hours worked should be as number. Then after that, now I want to add them together. So I just put in the hourly rate as number and the hours worked as number. That's what I just did. I just added this function should see them as number. Then now I want to add them, I want to multiply them. So I will say equals to, then greater than sign. So you put equals to and greater than sign. Then you say hourly rates. Hourly rates. Put your multiplication sign. That's times hours work. Hours work. Hourly rates times hours worked and enter. So we have our function created. So you see our function has been created now. So this function that we're going to be invoking later, this function has been created already. So before I go to invoking the function, did I repeat? I should repeat it again, Abby. Do you understand? Do you understand how I just created this function now? Yes, wow. I mean, that means you are following me bumper to bumper. It's nice. Please repeat. Okay, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to repeat. No worries. I'm going to repeat that again. So it's just basically creating a function. So to create a function, to go to where you're going to create your function, I'm going to do that again. Where you're going to create your function, you right click and say, right click, go to new query. From new query, go to blank query. So in new query, you have a drop down. So from that drop down, go to blank query. So on blank query, you have where you can create your function. So the first thing is your equals to sign. Then open and close bracket. If you press open bracket, the close bracket will come automatically. So open brackets, you have your close bracket there. So what we're trying to do is, first of all, passing the hourly rate as number. Passing the hourly rate as number as number. Hourly rate as number, hours worked, as number. Hourly rate as number, hours worked as number. Then now I pass these two things as number now. Now they are number now. Now I want to multiply them, the two of them. I want to multiply each other. I want to multiply them with. So what I will do is, first of all, I need to put, because I just did this thing, I need to put equals to and greater than sign. So that means I want to create another this thing there. I want to create another function. I just did the first function, which is passing them as number. Then I want to put another function under these two. I have to put in my the new query. Sorry, where did you click? So go to that place, you see the tables, all the tables are going to be appearing. Right click and you see new query. Then when you hover over the new query, another drop down will come down. You see blank query. Click on that to take you to where I'm going to create your blank query. So this is because I left this thing. So equals to greater than sign. That's what we're going to use. We'll do another function. So the next one to do is to add multiply them. So hourly rates multiplied by hours worked. Hourly rate multiplied by hours worked. So hourly rate multiplied by hours worked. I press enter. I have my function created. That's what I need to do. For people that are following me, hope you guys have written it though. Do you understand? This is function. You need to actually be following me. If you just cram it, you don't understand. I write it down somewhere. Let me type it out I'll type it out in the chat. What I'm going to be doing there. But so that you can just, because you might not be seeing my, so is equals to, okay, so I've done that. Close brackets, open brackets. I'm typing it out in the chat so that you can. Hourly rates, pass it as number. But people are not following me so that you don't get lost when you're going to be doing it. So I'm going to use video, but as number and comma hours worked, as number. So I'm passing, this is just passing them as number so I can be able to multiply them. Pass them as number first, then do the next. This is how to now multiply. All right, so multiply them now. Hourly rates. Hourly rate multiplied by hours.
So this now just press, after doing this, just press enter and you have it. So that's the function. I just drop it in the group. That's what I use. That's the key for that. So I'm going to now move ahead on invoking the function. So I'm going to come here to my add column. So I'm going to come to where I'm going to invoke the function. So I want to invoke the function to this my where's that table? Okay, sheet 1, that's the name. So I want to invoke the function here, knowing the price I want to pay them. So I'm going to invoke that function to this place. So I'm going to come to invoke function here. Then now I'm going to create custom function. So custom function. I'm going to name it as salary. Salary per. Just to say salary, not per hour. So I'm going to say query. That's what I want to invoke. They're going to ask me the what I'm using. So I'm using my hourly rates. And then I want to do this. So what I'm doing here now is I did that multiplication, but now I'm going to see me to select them here when I'm trying to invoke the function. So hourly rates. Then I want to invoke that function not as this map point, but as a column name. So if I put it as this map, if you do this number, it's not going to do. You're going to be typing this number. I'm going to put column name. You can select column name. Is hours worked. Then click on OK. And then I have the multiplication of those two things in here as my salary. Let me see your question. Can this also be done for sum and the other function? Yeah, you can do sum is addition now. You can add. It's not just this. You can also add. You can minus. You can divide. I'm just using multiplication because that's what I want to use here. If you want to use divide, you put divide when you put down what's it called? Asterisk, which is for multiplication. You want to sum is your plus. This one is just powerful. This is not dark, so this is just M language. It's not dark. This is what you're going to be using in what's it called? MySQL. This is the type of listening you're going to be using. Basically, what you're going to use in MySQL. This is what you're going to be using in MySQL. So, using codes like this to get what you want to do. So this is M language. This is not DAX function. This is M language. So if it's multiplication I want to use, we already use that. If it was why the space after the equals to? Is it in this place? It is added it itself. It's basically deleted the equals to. So it does not actually mean anything. It's just that that this what I did here. I'm not what I did this. So Power Query for this part that is bringing in now. Power Query does it itself. So it adds space there. I just removed the space and it's still working. So there's no really difference after that. Please do understand the invoke function. Do we understand the invoke function? Do we understand the invoke function? Do we understand the invoke function? Okay. I just invoked my function. No. Yeah. Okay, no. Yes. Very simple. Huh? I'm going to do it one more time. Please take it. I'm going to do that one more time. Then I'm going to start asking for questions. People that have questions before I give my assignment. My assignment for this week is plenty. So let's go ahead. So I already did the function. Everybody knows how to do the function. But people that are going ahead with me. So what you need to just come to your add columns, invoke function. Then this custom name is the name of the header, the name of the column that I'm bringing in, the header name. So it's going to be salary. I'm going to put salary. And then the query, if I have more than one query created, more than one query functions created, I will see them here. I also have one. If I create another function, I'll see them here. I'll see it here. So if I create another function, I also see it. It's just because I have one, that's why I'm having one here. So I'll select the one I have. And then here, I'm going to say I should bring in the tables I want to use. So for the hourly rates, what is the hourly rate? The hourly rate is this column here. This column here. Then the next one is going to which other column am I using? So I want the column to be not in decimal point, but column name. I want to use the column name, not the points. So column name. I will show me all the column name I have there. So the column I want to also add for this is hours worked. So this function I'm creating now is going to be applied to these two things I'm doing here. So I'm going to say okay, and I have my function created. Please, network kick me out. Oh. From where? When did network take you back? Oh, it's not when we are creating function. Oh. So I'm going to retake this invoke function and all this from the beginning again for you that you need to. So if you have a question, please start asking the question before I take it then. My listen. So questions, raise your hand, ask a question so that we can move ahead. Raise your hand if you have a question. I will retake this again. So if you have a question here, that's in, just raise your hand. Answer before I take it. Is there any question, raise your hand so that I can. Okay, definitely no question. I'm going to retake that. Okay. Well understood, sir. Okay. That's nice. Okay, so let me do that again. I'm going to create the function and invoke it again then. I dropped it in the chat. I drop it in the chat. Please go. I'll drop it again. Let me look for it and just drop it. I drop it in this chat, this place. I dropped it here. I dropped it here for the person I say is stuck on I'm going to redo it now, but I already dropped it again. I'm going to redo it. That's what I want to redo now. I'm going to start from the beginning on creating the function. So to create the function is very simple. First of all, what we need to do is create the first of all create the blank query. That's what I'm going to be using for the M language. So I'm going to go to to do that. When you see the tables being listed, I click and say new query. From on new query, we are going to get a drop down. You go to blank query. You have your cursor being on here. This is your formula bar. So in the formula bar, just move ahead and put in your formula. It's going to be equals to the open brackets. Then I want to pass in our hourly rates. Hourly rate as number. Hourly rates as a number. As number, comma, hours worked also should be passed as number. Work should be passed as number. As number. So this will not be passed as number. Now I want to do another function into it. I want to multiply. So I want to multiply those two. So this. I'm going to multiply this. So I'll say so to be able to multiply after this function, I will put equals to and greater than sign. Equals to and greater than sign. That's moving on to the next function. That's moving on to the next function. So next function, let's put in my gonna be so not really moving on to the it basically means it's not really moving on to the next function actually. It basically means I've actually put these two things now as a number. So and this is what I want to do when they are now numbers. I want to do this. I want to pass in this. I want to pass in this. This is the echo. Let's say what I want to echo. I want to show. I want to pass in this out now. So I'm going to put my step. Is that what I want it to do after adding these two things as a number? And now I want it to multiply the two of them. So I'll say now because hourly rates plus hours worked. Multiply hours worked. So multiply the two of them and press enter. My function comes out. So my function has been created now. So just go to my sheet one, which is where I'm going to invoke the function. So come to my invoke function, and then from there, I'm going to put in the name. Salary is going to be salary. Then I'm going to select the query that I want to use, function query. So this is one I want to use. I only have one there. So select what I want to pass in select the hourly rate, which is this, and select the hours work. So this is in decimal. I want it to be in column name, not decimal. I want to see column name, hours work. So I'll click on OK, and then those two things will be added for me, and I'll get my this thing here. Do we understand? For people that don't understand, this thing is just you can actually do it in Power BI. This is if you go into Power BI, it's just sum of these two. You sum this and this and get your answer. So is all this one I'm doing, I'm not showing you how to invoke. All this thing, we don't even need to do it. If you go to Power BI, you can just add this normal simple one. I'm not showing you how to invoke and also how to create a function. So do you understand? Please, do you understand? Do you understand? I can actually edit. They are multiplying now. You cannot multiply with conditional formatting now. You are multiplying with this now. Okay. So my assignment is in 2 ways. Is it 2 or even 3? Or even 5? Can you invoke? Can I invoke understanding? I don't understand. Can you invoke understanding? I say, can I invoke understanding? So you don't understand. I cannot invoke understanding, though. Can you? Are you trying to say I should invoke again? You don't understand? I don't. Yeah, can I invoke understanding? I missed you submit the second assignment. That one not pass. But you understand it, Sha, so you can still submit, Sha. Submit so that I can go through, I can look through it. Even the last this I've not actually I've gone through it, but not all because of time. I was very, very busy. I could not go through everything. So I think this second assignment, we should do it as an image. So I can just take a look instead of going to that Power BI. Okay, this one I will be half time, Sha, but this last one I didn't really have time to go through it for this class. How do you open the Power Query editor? Transform. If you're in Power BI, go to transform. Transform takes you to Power BI, Power Query editor. Transform data. Transform data takes you to Power Query editor. Transform data. So my assignment is create a table of students. This is not going to be the same thing I'm using here. For this invoke function, this is going to be a bit hard. I want you guys to come and ask questions when you're done. So create if you don't understand, I think you should understand. Create a student create what's it called? Student report, like student reports, their name, their scores. I'm coming out. I want you to ask a question. Let me talk about this assignment first. Create the student report, their name, their class. You can do class if you want, but I just what I actually need here is the text score, exam score, and then you can use enter data to do that. That one you don't need to go and create in Excel or use enter data. That's simple. Just use enter data. So it should be student report 10 students. What I want you to have there, you put their name, and then you can have text score, exam score, and Now, creating the total score, use your function to do that. So all you need to do is text score passes out as number, but like what we did here. That's the same function we did here, but now when you're adding the text score and this together, it should be plus instead of minus, instead of times. That's the difference. So create a student score. You do the student score, text and exam score. You can do project score too. Text, exam, and project score. Then, okay, just text and exam score is enough. So text and exam score is enough. Then, must add the two of them together using function. First of all, create the function, then go to that table and invoke the function to bring that in. After creating the function, invoke the function to that your report table you are going to create and bring it in. So I'm going to unmute. That's the first one. Let me unmute. Let me hear from him. Go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening,
Thank
sir.
you for what you are doing.
You're welcome,
I
sir.
just feel this assignment, probably you should
Drop it.
put it on drop it on the WhatsApp group so that it will
Okay.
be easier, because you find out that even as at before this lesson, one or two people were still asking what is
Yeah. What's the assignment?
if
I
it's
get.
there.
I get.
Exactly. It's
I
easier
understand.
for people to just look at it and pick it.
Okay,
Thank
I'll
you,
do
sir.
that. I'll do that. Okay, that's their first. Okay, for people that are still writing, I'm still going to drop it in the group, but for people that are still writing, the next one is the data that I brought in. I gave you that first data, which is the Apocalypse sales prep. Apocalypse sales prep. That's the name. I think that's the name. Yeah. Bring in that data. Then I want you to bring in the customer state into the sales store. The customer state, the state that the customer is like, here, let me view that data. So you see, this is the state here. This state here now, I want you to bring it into this sales. It's not, I don't think it's here. I want you to bring it into this sales here. So there's something that you're going to use to ID. This ID is also here. So that's your common ground between them. So use it to bring in these states. That's you using your merge query. That's the second assignment. First and second. So I'm going to also drop it in the group so that you can go ahead, read through it. I'm going to drop it in the group, type it out and drop it in the group. And okay, so any other question? Any question? Please, let's go ahead and ask questions. Let's go ahead and ask questions. Questions. Any question? Any question? Seems like this is very clear. Network issue. Please don't worry, I'll drop the video. You go through it though. So network. Okay, I'll drop it. No worry, that's not a problem. I'll start trying to let me just go off and start editing it now so that I can actually edit it. Drop it very fast. Please, you can submit the second assignment. It's clear. Okay. Okay, so the recap of the last class, I'm going to do it in the next class I'm having. And the next thing I want to talk about, please, the next video you should go and watch is that seller. Please try to do that. Let's try. I think it's only one person that watched the video that indicated that I watched the video. That seller is there so that you watch it, not just leave it there. Please watch how to create relationship. A lot of questions. I will chat you up. I have a lot of questions. Okay, no problem. My DM is open. Go ahead and chat me. So please watch the video on how to create relationship between different tables. That's what we are going to be. I'm going to recap the last class and this one, just to do a recap on them. Then we do relationship. That's our next class on Saturday. Please go through the video. I will try to drop this one latest tomorrow morning. I will start editing it now, so I will drop it early. Latest tomorrow morning, you guys should see it. So in the absence of any other question, I would like to call it a day. Please, I'll see you guys in the next class. Please, you guys should do my assignment too. And hey, an assignment, please. Okay, I also put it in the group. You take a screenshot of it and drop it. Screenshot, that's what I need. I want to also drop it in the group. Screenshot. Take a screenshot and drop it in as when you are filling it. The two of them, take a screenshot. I will understand when you take a screenshot. That's okay. So I'm going to okay, so that's that. Have a great day. See you guys on Saturday. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Good night.